Okay, today we're going to be looking at the head hoggers shifting bushing, and what we're dealing with here is this housing where the shifter pivots, and as you can see when they're stock, there's a lot of slop. So it's very messy. So what we're going to do, first thing, we're going to pull this Allen wrench out. Obviously you'll use a wrench. Pop that out, get this out of the way. You're going to take this off. This little rubber deal there. Take that off, and we're going to be dealing with this shaft, okay? For simple purposes, I've got another one to show you what you're going to do first. When you remove it, there's a good chance that this will have some corrosion and whatnot on it. If it's been on the bike for a long time, they rust, they get pitted, and there can't be any bumps or anything on this shaft. It's got to be nice and clean. So what I suggest, chuck it up into a drill. Any drill that'll hold a 1/2 inch drill bit will do this. You can put it in there like that. Getting sandpaper, I recommend somewhere around 100 grit-ish sandpaper, and you're going to spin it down like that. Get it nice and clean. You're going to want to get it nice and clean like that till you got about like so. Alright? You want a nice clean finish. There can't be any pits left or anything like that, or you're going to have issues. And again, these housings and these shafts vary a tiny little bit. If you end up with a little bit of sticking at the end when it's hot, worst case scenario, you can buff that down just a little bit. Most likely you won't need to do that, but if you do, that's the fix for it. All right. So next, we've got the stock bushing in here. You're going to find the head hoggers puller tool. You're going to look at it'll come to you like this. You're going to take this little piece. You're going to stick the bolt through. You're going to set that into the hole. Make sure it fits in there nice. And then you'll feel it catch. And you give it a little tug. Make sure you got it in the right spot. And it fits into the housing back there and into the bearing. Then you'll run the nut up like so. You'll snug it up. And you're going to need 3/4 inch wrenches. That's what you're going to use. You'll have 2 of them. You'll have one to hold the nut on the puller itself, and one to turn the nut. So that's what you're going to do, just like so. And you'll turn this, and that will pull it out. It's okay. Sometimes when they're in there fresh, you'll have to put a decent amount of force on it, and you'll feel it kind of break loose. That's normal. But once it's moving, it should come out pretty easily. And then all the way down, basically till it just falls out. All right, there we go. So what you'll see is you'll have this little bushing on the inside like that, and that'll be that. So now your bushing's out. Now what we recommend is this housing can get kind of corroded a little bit on the inside as well. Take a little piece of sandpaper on your pinky and just kind of clean it out. You're not actually trying to hone anything. You're just cleaning it out, making sure there's no junk in there that's going to change the clearances. And then you give it a quick wipe with your finger or with a rag. Finger's good enough really if your finger's clean. Clean that thing out real good. Then you're going to grab your bushing. All right. Installation of the bushing is pretty simple. Give it a shove. That's pretty much it. You can give it a little tap if you like. I think we probably should give it just a little tap there. What works good for that is your puller. You put that in there, run the nut down, and then give it a little tap with a hammer, which we've got right here. Just feel it bottom out. You feel when the hammer bounces, and you know you're good. Make sure your bolt's not hitting the back side of the case. Just adjust the nut until it doesn't. All right. Then we recommend a marine grade kind of grease. Doesn't take much, just a little bit in there. Just kind of like that. Clean it up nice. And that's pretty much all you need for lube. It doesn't take much. And then you'll take your shaft, run it in there. I like to smear the grease around a little bit in there so you're good. Get your shifter in the location where you want it so that your toe will fit underneath there. Gotta find the, I want to go one more tooth down probably. About like so. All right. Get your Allen wrench or your Allen bolt. Run that back in. And I like to make sure we're snug back and forth before I do that. Just take out all the slack. And we'll take out all the side-to-side slack and snug it down nice and tight. And now you're good. Notice you'll have just the tiniest amount of wiggle. You should have just the tiniest amount of wiggle before it warms up. When the bike warms up, the bushings swell just a little bit, and you should have almost no, you should have basically zero clearance. And that's it. That's pretty much it. Again, if there's a little bit of clearance issues with Harley, they don't machine these things exactly perfect every time. So if it is a little tight when it gets hot, again, you take it out. And again, the emery paper or sandpaper on the shaft, sand it a little bit more and clean it and pop it back in there, and you should be good to go. So thanks for watching. That should do it for you guys. Enjoy.